Greetings, this is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. I was asked a question in my Instagram earlier, and the question was basically, how do I expand my library of correspondences? That's a wonderful question. And if you don't really understand what that's all about, allow me to explain just a little bit. So if you've watched my videos for any length of time, you'll know that one of the quotes that I say repeatedly is, build your library of correspondences, right? I say that for a reason. Being somebody who has worked with magic for a long time, who has worked with spirits and energies, manifestation, and all sorts of wonderful things of that nature, I've come to recognize that there are specific patterns that if you get those patterns right, you'll have a whole lot easier time doing what it is that you're trying to do. And this counts for manifestation, this counts for good luck, this counts for burning karma, this counts for all those different things. And just to get down to the basics, what is magic in the first place, right? If you just really wanted to give it a basic definition, we can say that magic is the art and the science of being able to manipulate states of consciousness and to have a corresponding effect in the environment, right? We can say that that's a very basic definition. Being able to manipulate states of consciousness and to have a corresponding effect in the environment. So, with that being said, if you really think about that statement, you'll come to find that there are things that come with that. Manipulating states of consciousness means that this is more of an internal, subjective type of ordeal, heavy on the internal subjective and light on the external objective. So right there, what that means is it's not so much about the objects, the candle, the incense, or whatever thing that you're doing in the physical world. It's a whole lot more about what's happening on the inside, what's happening in your subjective reality. So if magic is the art and the science of manipulating states of consciousness in order to have some sort of reflective effect in the environment, then this has everything to do with maintaining your frame, right? Managing your mind and how you interpret reality. So if you're somebody who's on this path and you're learning, you're trying to figure it out, right? You want to get good at this. After you're done fumbling through 100 different books, after you're done scrolling through 1,000,000 different channels, after you've tried all these different tips and tricks and you're ready to get serious, like when you're really ready to start having consistent results, well, what you want to do is you want to start building up your library of correspondences. That's what I always say. Build up your library of correspondences, because if you don't, you're going to be working with an extremely limited vocabulary, a limited magical vocabulary, right? You feel what I'm saying? See, this is a conversation between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And the symbols that you work with, the understanding and the interpretation that you have of these symbols, this is going to affect and influence what you're capable of, right? So you've got to expand the vocabulary that you're working with. The subconscious mind communicates symbolically, not logically and literally. So it doesn't matter what you say, it matters what's behind the words that you use, what's behind the images that you use. When you talk to the subconscious mind, you're focusing on different images, right? And those images are going to cause your consciousness to react in a certain kind of way, right? If you fantasize about the end of the world, you're going to start generating feelings that correspond with that. And those feelings are going to allow you to behave in a certain kind of way. You're not going to behave differently than your state. You're not going to behave differently than your state. If you're in a depressed state, you're now limited to depressed behaviors. If you're in a confident, hopeful, positive state, you're now open to behave in confident, hopeful ways. Does that make clean common sense? It should. It should. So you want to expand your library of correspondences because these are the very images that you're feeding to your subconscious mind, right? The symbols are the very images that you're communicating with. So once again, if you are very limited in the symbols that you're communicating with and your understanding of those symbols, you're limited in what you can manifest, right? Especially if the only definitions that you have for these symbols are negative and harmful, and you're surrounded by them, you can expect that that's what you're going to manifest. Clean common sense. Clean common sense. Peace and greetings to everybody here. I hope you all are having a good morning. This is an early live stream. I was just going through my DMs and I saw that the homie Milo sent me a question asking Trav, I'm ready to go past the level that I'm at, and I want to know what it means to expand my library of correspondences. Like, how do I do that? And as I was giving him a voice message, I was like, I never really explained how to do that, so why not make a video, right? Your library of correspondences is what you work with. Think about it. Think about the last piece of magic you did. Think about the last piece of manifestation you did. What did you use? What did you do? What did you focus on? What did you visualize? What were the tools at your disposal? Like, literally, what did you do in that last session? Did you light a candle? Did you pay special attention to what color that candle was that you lit? Was that important to you? Do you have an understanding of what that color means? Do you have an understanding of what a candle represents in this work? Did you have a dagger? Did you have a sigil drawn on a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard or whatever? Did you do that? Peace and greetings. Tam Pomeroy says, hey Trav, what spell can I put on you to do an earlier tarot reading stream? Oh boy. Let me not say anything that would get me demonetized. Sheesh. I try to stay, That's a good question. That's a good question. 8's pretty normal for me because that's like the middle of my day. Alright, so as far as this library of correspondences is concerned, right? I explained why it's important. It's important because that's what you use to communicate with your subconscious mind. And if you're limited in what you use, you're going to be limited in your results. It's the same way that, like, somebody will say, oh, that's demonic. Oh, that's the devil. When they see and they say that word and they have that vision, it has not very many options but to manifest something negative, scary, right? So right then and there, they're limited to what they can manifest. So let's think about this. The subconscious mind speaks in symbols. It speaks in correspondences. It speaks in patterns. It speaks in relationships. It speaks in relationships of patterns. So here's what you have to do to strengthen and to build your library of correspondences. I'm going to tell you right now exactly what you do in order to become a whole lot better at manifesting than what you're actually doing. You make it complicated, but it's really easy. Listen close. Are you listening? This is what you do. You focus on the basics because the complex things are created out of the basics, right? So you want to focus on making sure that you have a very clean definition, or at least a clean understanding of what numbers represent, what colors mean to you, and of the elements. Those are the three primary things you want to make sure that you have a good understanding of. And here's what I mean by this. The number 3 does not have a locked-in concrete meaning, right? 3 does not always mean a certain thing. Even mathematically, it doesn't. It's a representation of a point in space or time. So when I say have a clear understanding of what these mean, have a collection of definitions for what 3 could represent, what 5 represents, right? Tarot helps with that, doesn't it? Tarot helps with that immensely. So have a clean understanding of what the 10 numbers represent, 0 through 9, 1 through 0, right? Have a clean understanding of what those represent because that's going to be crucial. You're always going to be dealing with those numbers. Was it 1 candle? Was it 3 candles? Was it 7 candles? 4 candles, right? 4 would relate to the elements. 3 would relate to the gunas, right? Generator, operator, destroyer. 7 would represent nature and overcoming natural process, right? Get these definitions down for these numbers. Next, go to your colors. Have a general understanding of what these colors represent to you specifically, not what some book said. What does red mean to you? What does blue and pink and purple mean to you? What does black mean to you? What does white mean to you? Like what do these colors say to you? Because guess what? When you reach that astral plane, when you dream, you're communicating in color. The higher astral planes are not as clearly defined as the lower, so you're communicating in color. There's even color therapy that is hyper effective, utilizing color. So I have a clear understanding of what these colors represent to you: numbers, colors, and finally, I would say elements. Elements. Have a clear understanding of what these elements represent. What does earth represent to you? What does water represent to you? What is the fire element all about? What does it symbolize? What does it mean? What does the air element symbolize? What does it represent? Have a solid and firm definition of those three concepts, and what you'll quickly come to understand is that everything else that you work with is going to be based on those three concepts. It's going to be a quantity of some number. There's going to be some color involved, and it's going to be connected with some element or some combination of elements. I would even say those three before understanding astrology, before understanding the 12 zodiac or the 7 planets, because even the 7 planets are created out of a combination of the elements. Even the 12 zodiac are created out of a combination of the different elements. So if you learn those three things primarily, what you'll find is that building this library of correspondences is not about accumulating data. It's not about stacking and piling yourself up with more and more data. What it's about is creating a connected network between all the different points of your data. What's important about that, what's key about that is now when you come across new information, you don't store it in a library that is growing. What's happening is that if you have a network built, you'll know where to allocate that new piece of information, right? So in other words, instead of just stacking up books in this library, that's not what you're doing. You're building a bookshelf. That's what you're doing. You're building a bookshelf that is precise in where everything goes. So now, if you're dealing with some spirit, you know exactly to look for, okay, what element is it associated with? What numbers are it associated with? What colors is it associated with? And you have a clean place to put that spirit, and also how to tap into it deeper than what some book may say or what some YouTuber or TikToker may say about this. You get what I'm saying here? You're not stacking books when I say build your library of correspondences. I mean build your library, like literally build the cabinets and the shelves that all the data fits on. You get what I'm saying? Let me know if that makes sense. Because nobody thinks of it that way. People think that you have to read these books and memorize them and stack them up and do shit verbatim. That's not how that works. That is purely left brain. And what's supposed to happen, right? We talked about the oath of the abyss. If you remember that video, if you're actually doing this work, there's a transition that happens of mentation. There's a transfer of how the consciousness operates. You no longer go back and recall information that you learned. What happens is that you flow subconsciously. You don't have to sit here and set up your altar and say, oh, this represents this and this represents that over there. You don't have to do that. You'll intuitively and instinctually understand that certain things are here and there. It don't even have to be said. It don't even have to be said. In fact, you can start just flowing on autopilot, and you'll find that even the body remembers, even the subconscious mind remembers what all this stuff means. And you'll start picking things and utilizing things and envisioning things that all fit together. Now you find that you're speaking a whole new language that goes beyond words. And that's the point. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the whole purpose of magical training, so that you can move above and beyond using the mind to get there. You're not supposed to be relying on the intellect to get everywhere. That's for this world. That's for the 3D world. That's for the physical plane. You're supposed to use your intellect to move through the physical world to help the body survive. But what you're learning is how to navigate the spiritual world. And the intellect can only get you in the door. That's it. If you continue to use the intellect to get deep into the subconscious, you're going to get confused and lost, and you will definitely have yourself trapped. And when I say trapped, I mean stuck in patterns that don't serve you, that are not useful or appropriate. And we see that pretty commonly. You don't have to look far to see that. You don't have to look far to see that. So let me know if that made sense. Let me know if that makes sense, right? We're talking about, say for example, threes, right? We understand, or you start getting a understanding of what three represents, right? We could talk about the mother, we could talk about Bina, we could talk about being a number of teaching and guidance and leadership. And I want you to go ahead and think about, say you might come across the three gunas, Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva, right? You might connect that to generator, operator, destroyer. You might connect that to Lakshmi, Durga, Saraswati. And what happens is, like I said, you built a cubby, right, to place that data in because it corresponds together. Build your library of correspondences. It corresponds together, right? So you place all that data together, and what happens is, both in your conscious mind and in your subconscious mind, all that data starts to mesh together and you start extracting a meaning behind all that information. And you walk with that meaning that is extracted, right? You put those pieces of fruit into that juicer and you work with the juice that comes out. You no longer have to work with the shell. You no longer have to work with the expressed, manifest aspect of it. If we're talking about energy work and doing this stuff about energy, it's about what's behind the symbols. You got to understand this. It's what's behind the symbols. When you put all the different pieces of data into the box that you put the number three into, right? The three gunas you put in there, the three goddesses you put in there, generator, operator, destroyer. You put all your different threes, all the different symbols that represent your understanding of threes. Put them all in that box and allow that juicer to squeeze them together. The essence that comes out is what three actually means. So now when you do your ritual, you work with that essence. Not only that, you'll be able to recognize that essence in many other different aspects of reality, right? So now you can go beyond the books. Now you can go beyond the pre-made, pre-cut paths that were designed for you. This is how it's supposed to work. You're not supposed to be bound to a book. You're not supposed to be enslaved to somebody's ideology. You're supposed to extract the essence of what it means. And this is not a process that happens with the logical, rational left brain mind. The logical, rational left brain mind is what gathers that data and sorts it. But it's the subconscious that squeezes the essence out of it so that you can see it for what it really is, right? Most of y'all are fooled by the appearance of a thing. You're fooled by how something looks and how it's presented. Oh, Trav got some sparkly shit on his wall. That must mean X, Y, Z. You don't understand how this game works. And I'm trying to tell you how it works. You go past the appearance of a thing so you can get to the essence of a thing, right? The symbols mean something different to every single person. To believe that symbols have a universal meaning, you're only halfway there, right? Symbols have a universal meaning to the uneducated, to people who don't go past what they've come pre-programmed with. The Fool card can't mean the same thing to you and to me because I've done research on it. So now I've expanded my library of correspondences, right? I'm going to see it in places that you won't see it because you didn't expand yours. You get what I'm saying here? This is how this thing works. This is how this thing works. Hopefully you're listening. Hopefully you take this seriously, right? Because time is of the essence. You never know. You never know. And I'm not talking about, well, I guess we could talk about death. Because here's the thing. This is where you do this work. This is where you do this work. I've done that part of the work. So when the body transitions, you're left with what you have assembled in your consciousness, right? And if you didn't figure this out, you're going to get, who knows, but I can say you won't be able to navigate as clearly. You won't be able to navigate as clearly than if you were to actually take the time to learn how to recognize the essence of reality. All this stuff is an illusion. All of it is an illusion. Good morning, good morning. Take this information, do with it as you will. Some of y'all won't do anything with it. That's your prerogative. And that's great. Some of y'all will take advantage of it and, customize your experience. So peace to everybody. I didn't do my usual greetings just because I was in the zone. So peace to everybody who's currently present for this video. Oracle of Medusa, peace, peace. Great to see you. Al Dicky, peace, my bro. Sunshine Chick, always good to see you. Oath, peace and greetings. Proteus, seer of eons, peace. I see you, bro. Society Ejects, peace, peace, my guy. Peace. Glad to see you back. Miss Omega, peace, peace. Veronica Archaga, I love you. I love you. Lasange Decode, peace and greetings. Good evening. Who else we got? Who else we got? ZJ, peace, peace. Dulo the Ruler, peace. Chief Keef, peace and greetings, my bro. Peace and greetings. A loopy trip through the Tesseract. You know what time it is. AV, peace, peace. Who else we got? Who else we got? Wild Harmony, peace and good to see you. Lose. Always good to see you as well. Zero, peace, peace. Yeah, so we in here. We in here. Have a great day, right? It's the beginning for some of y'all. It's close to the end for me. But look, this is how you get really good at this game, right? If you're sitting here trying to memorize shit, Burr, peace, peace. Rainwater, peace. Void Stranger, greetings. If you're sitting here trying to memorize this shit and stack it up one brick at a time, that doesn't make sense, because there's so much data in reality. That's not practical. You can't do anything with that. But when I say build your library of correspondences, I mean build the actual structure that you use to categorize and understand this information. When you do that, then it doesn't matter what data that you come across, because it all fits in a special place. And then it becomes beautiful when you come across something that you've never seen before, because now you have to create a new category, right? Now you have to create a new category. That's when you know that you're tapping into some new power. That's when you know that you've reached a new level. You get what I'm saying? That's when you know you've tapped into something new. And then when you work with it, it's almost like working with a new toy, right? So, Luce says, build up your personal framework. Absolutely. That's what you should be doing. And if you're just now joining in and you missed it, run this video back. Run this video back, because I dropped something crucial. Hell, I might even take this shit down. But like I said, somebody in the Instagram asked me this question, and I thought that it would probably be better if I spoke it out loud, right? And this is meant to be a short video. I'm not going to be here all day. Void Stranger says you go from studying and learning to tapping into the knowing. Fact. Fact. So yeah, if you're just jumping in and this is something you're interested in, go ahead and run it back. Go ahead and run it back. Okay, so anything else? Anything else? Yes. So look, if you don't know, I don't know how, because I keep talking about it. My Shadowwork Mastery system. This class I've got on sale for 50% off. I've also got the Cyclomancy class on sale. Not only that, but I'm bundling the two together. So as of right now, until Monday, you can tap in and get access to the Shadowwork Mastery system and the Cyclomancy class at half off. Now the beautiful thing about this is that the Shadowwork Mastery system is a go at your own pace class. And really what it's about is understanding the subconscious mind and how it influences and affects everything that you do. There is no escaping it. If your shadow is unhealed, it will always, always affect your manifestations, especially you not getting them or them being delayed. You don't get what you want because you don't believe you deserve it. That's it. You don't get what you want because you don't believe that you deserve it. And that reflects in reality. All of this is a mirror of what's on the inside, right? So if you're doing your manifestations and your ritual and all this other stuff, and it's not coming to pass, hell, in fact, if you're seeing the opposite, it's confirming what you already believe. Now, you don't just fix that by saying, oh, I'm tired of this. You have to go back into the subconscious mind and start changing how you perceive the past. It's not as hard as it sounds. Trust me. I already helped plenty of people do it. And you don't have to sit here and dwell on a painful experience that happened. You don't have to go back and dwell on the thing that hurt. You simply have to go back and adjust the story that you've been telling yourself, right? Somebody posted a picture earlier and it showed somebody, you know, stabbing them in the back, and they're like, oh, this is how people love me. This is a story that you're telling yourself. You're literally walking around telling yourself, this is how people love me. And the image you have is somebody stabbing you in the back. You're manifesting that. Yes, I understand it happened in the past, but there is a way to change how you perceive that experience so that you believe better for yourself. Listen, some of y'all have done rituals before and got the manifestation before the ritual is completed. I have. So that goes to show it's not about the ritual. It's about the state that you put yourself into. It's about what you believe. And it's about allowing that belief to manifest. You've been doing it all your life, for better or for worse. So, like I said all that to say, join my Shadow Work Mastery System class. It's on sale right now. Get it while it's hot. Price is going right back up after this weekend is over with. Oh, yeah. Richard Tracy, peace, my brother, peace. Chief Heartbeat, peace, peace. Chief Heartbeat says, brother, man, thanks for the gems. My pleasure. My pleasure. Veronica Archaga says, that's right, bro. Psychomancy helps me to change the BS. Right. And you'll be able to tap into the subtle essence like what I was talking about before. All right, so our quark piece. All right, enough of that. I got some work that I have to be doing. Like I said, if you missed this video, go back, tap in, because if you just understand the simple concept of how to structure your library of correspondence, and here's the thing, after you do all that, then go buy the book about what symbols mean. Don't buy the book on symbols first. Fix yourself first. Then go buy the book on symbols, buy the book on numerology, buy the book on what these spirits mean, that spirits mean, right? Because once you have an understanding of what the elements represent, an understanding of what the numbers represent, and an understanding of what different colors represent, now you go back and you start filling those boxes that you've built, start filling up your library shelves with the stuff that's out there. Okay? Do that. It's not hard. Work smart, not hard. You're supposed to be winning right now. You're not supposed to be out here suffering and losing, right? You're not supposed to be out here losing, going out bad and sad. No, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be winning, right? You're supposed to have fat pockets. You're supposed to want for nothing. Now look, I'm not saying everybody's supposed to be a millionaire balling out of control, because honestly, if you fix what makes you happy, you don't need all that, right? You're supposed to have what makes you happy and be abundant in that. Because if you're craving a bunch of extra shit that you don't need, that's another sign of shadow work that's not done. Check. Firstborn Art says taking L's, right? You're not supposed to be out here taking L's. You're supposed to be moving correctly, right? You're supposed to be able to calculate what's the best step to make the best step, and profit. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Like, it's enough out here for everybody to win. It's enough out here for everybody to win. If you're, I need you to check yourself right now. If you're telling yourself a story, damn, I always lose. I always fail. I always mess up. Nobody understands me. I'll never get it right. If that's the story that you're telling yourself, I need you to recognize that, accept it, be honest, own it, and then change that narrative. Make some shit up if you have to, but change that narrative. There's experiences in your past. There's experiences in your life where that contradict that terrible story. You've won before. You've been successful before. You've got what you needed before. But see, you don't focus on that. You want to focus on the pain. You want to focus on, oh, I didn't get. Oh, I'll never get. Oh, this never happened. And they said, and he said, she said, my daddy said, my mama said, my auntie said. You're focused on all that stuff. And that's what's causing you to continue to manifest that stuff. Change the narrative. You're supposed to win. You're supposed to win. And that's on Nanda. That's on Nanda. He's supposed to win. Right? That's on the good Swami. Let these other folks out here be confused and emotionally disorganized, emotionally unstable, mentally unstable. Let them do that. That's not for you. You didn't sit up here and study Kabbalah and meditate and do your chakra work and buy all these damn books. You didn't do all that to be getting the same life that these other folks are getting. You're supposed to be winning, all right? Build your library of correspondences. Change the narrative if you got a fucked up story. Win. Win. There's no excuses. No time to waste. Stop dreaming about a damn Illuminati end of the world scenario and maybe dream about the scenario where you're living your best life. Maybe dream that up, right? Letting these people tell you what to think. Do you enjoy that? Is that what you want? If not, then change it. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's going to take a little bit of resistance, right? Because you're pushing against what you've already set in motion. But if you endure, you're going to get what you want. It's that simple, right? And you don't need nobody to co-sign it. You don't need nobody to see, and oh, damn, you doing good, or you balling out of control. You don't need anybody to co-sign. This is about you. Get your state right. Get your mind right. Get your life right. Damn these people. Fuck them. All the way. Fuck them. You do what you gotta do, regardless of them. All right? I'm leaving for real this time. Have a great day. It's still early enough. Good morning. Have your coffee. Have your Fruity Pebbles. It's a good day. Beautiful day. Focus on the positive. Focus on the manifestation that you're working towards. You ain't got no time to focus on the distractions. You have no time whatsoever to focus on the distractions. You got no time to focus on these bullshit ass people. You got no time to focus on drama. Focus on your manifestation. That's what you're supposed to be doing. All right? These are my positive words for you this morning. Take them, do what you will. Leave them for somebody else. Whatever. But I'm out. Build your library of correspondences. This is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. Let me tell you something. I love you. Go love your damn self. Peace. Check out my shadow work class. Check out my cyclomancy class. The sale ends this weekend, and we getting started right away. Heal yourself, right? Heal yourself. You do not have to suffer. You do not have to suffer. You do not have to suffer. You understand that? It's the same shit I'm gonna tell my son when he gets old enough to hear it. Right? The same shit I tell my son in his language. Same shit I wish somebody told me. You don't have to suffer. You win some, you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another day. And be grateful, man. Exercise that gratitude. Exercise that gratitude. Stop letting these folks get y'all worked up. Worried about the wrong things. Don't do that. Don't do that. Coffee time.